Hi, my name's Jane Scarf, and I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I want to talk to you today about the notices of liability that Rebecca Shepherd and I have been working on for the past several weeks. We've already put one out for where a vaccine passport is required to enter any kind of facility. And we put one out for employees who are having problems with their employers with regard to forced vaccination disclosure, and students. And this evening, not this evening, tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, we're going to be putting out a notice of liability for masks. And then the following Tuesday will be notice of liability for business owners who are being forced to require vaccination passports in order to enter their facilities. This is creating liability for these businesses because they can be sued for intruding on privacy. And there's case law that, Supreme Court case law that confirms that you can't force anybody to disclose personal information, and medical information is particularly sensitive. So they're being required by public health, and that's another whole story, whether that can even happen legally. And then also they're losing business because the people that aren't getting a vaccine and don't have any proof of it are not allowed in their facility. That's a direct loss of business for them. So they have everything to say about liability. And so that will be available on Tuesday, and we'll have a Zoom at 8 o'clock through stanfordthe.ca, and it'll explain what the liability is about and how to fill it out. And then there's a guide that you can download and a template that you can download after the video. Last video we had with regard to the teachers and students, we had 1,000 participants logged in, and then it's even gone further than that because the video of that Zoom is in big demand, and a lot of people are signing up to the website and looking for subsequent updates and so on. And they're you don't even have to sign up on the website to have access to the video, to the template, and to the guide. So I'm not going to go into detail because Rebecca Shepherd's going to do a live today at some point, telling you what she's found out in her research about where are these policies coming from? Where are these showing proof of your vaccination policy coming from? But I can tell you this much, it's not supported legally at all, and she's got it nailed. And so watch out for that. And I just have one more comment to make, and that is with regard to people that are faced with this problem. I've said it before. I put out a video before, and I said I'm getting kind of irritated by people coming to me and going, take care of it for me, please, and don't create any risk for me. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to piss off my boss. Just fix it. Well, there's no quick fix, and I can't fix it. You have to fix it. And we're giving you the tools, we're giving you your legal rights, we're giving you your references to legislation, case law. We'll back you up, we'll answer your questions, make sure you understand what you're doing. We can get somebody to go with you to serve it if that's an issue. And we're going to have more detail filled in about how to do the collections after. You can either do them yourself, once you've established that there's a debt owed to you for the harm done by what they're doing. And you can do it directly, or you can have a collection agency pursue them. And then if they own a house, you can lien the house. And it's frozen until the statute of limitations is over. And that could be, depending on the size of the debt, it could be like 2 years or even 5 years. So, or 1 year. Like if it's under $35,000, it's 1 year. And it'll take 2 years altogether, so their house will be frozen for 2 years or liened for 2 years. So that'll affect their credit rating. That'll affect, they can't sell the house, they can't borrow off the house. And normally banks find out about liens and you can't borrow any money while you're under lien. So it's going to have a very serious effect quickly on these people. Because you're going to give them 30 days to pay the debt, then you report it to Equifax and start collection procedures, and then you've got up to a year to file a lawsuit. So we're going to hit them. Like, it's about time that we hit back. Like, we've been bombarded with all of this stuff for a year and a half now. It's time for us to stand in our own power and hit back. So what we're suggesting is find out what your rights are and find out how to assert them, and do that quickly, because we need to push back as many people as possible to push back. And then these people that are so quick to jump on the job responsibility of demanding vaccine status, they're going to think twice, or maybe more than twice, and that will resonate. And we have quite a few people that have said they're preparing and they're going to file very soon, and several that are already filing. So this could work if people do that, but if you stand back looking for the quick fix, you're going to get screwed, because there isn't a quick fix. So if you just wait, like, that's, the longer we wait before we push back, the farther they get. That's how this whole move to communism has proceeded, and it didn't just start a year and a half ago. It started, to my knowledge, in the 60s, late 60s, 70s, with Pierre Elliott Trudeau. And that's another story for another day, but he did a lot of harm. And that charter, And I just found out that the charter is not ratified because it did not have royal assent. That's a nice gem for this video today. So you don't have to use the charter. It has no force or effect of law because it's never been ratified. Now, it's never been contested, because normally when it's enacted by somebody whose rights are violated, and then that person believes that this is a valid law, and they bring it forward, and the court doesn't have any challenge of its validity, because you're not going to bring it forward and then challenge its validity. So if there's no challenge to its validity, it's going to go forward. But if they try to, in our various defenses for fines and charges and so on, if they try to push the charter as the superior document, we've got that ace in our hole. And the way you can check, I can't remember the exact words off the top of my head, but it's something like Her Majesty with consultation with so-and-so enacts. That's the statement that tells you that an act has received royal assent. It doesn't say that in there. Don't worry about it. So all of these new and intrusive legislation that Trudeau's brought in, no royal assent, because we didn't even have a Governor General. And it requires the approval of the Governor General on behalf of the Queen in order to make it law in Canada. And those acts don't have that. And we've never changed that process. That would require constitutional change. And we didn't have that. So any laws that don't have royal assent, they're no good. So our Bill of Rights has royal assent, and our Genetic Non-Discrimination Act, which makes it a criminal offense to require somebody to have a PCR test, has had royal assent and has been upheld by the Supreme Court, because Quebec challenged that act once it came into being, and there was a subsequent presentation to the Supreme Court of Canada, who upheld that act. And they reinforce in that decision that the right to privacy is paramount, and we got to remember that they cannot legally require us to give medical information. Period. Any situation, anybody, they can't do it. Provincial government can't do it. Public health can't do it. Nobody can do it, not legally. They can try, they can, put all this puff and smoke out, but at the end of the day, not. So watch for Rebecca Shepherd live. She's going to give you the details showing how these new vaccine, what do they call it? Mandatory vaccine policy. So it's not even a requirement on the company to make them get vaccine. It's just telling them to make a policy about it. So with certain conditions. And there's nothing in the conditions that's saying that you can be forced. So any company that's forcing you or firing you, they're going to be in big trouble, and quick trouble, because these notices of liability are immediate. And the consequence to the individuals who are putting this crap forward is immediate. You don't have to wait till the court decision. You can start right away, quantify the harm, like the violations of rights and losses, if they take your employment or whatever, that quantifies into an amount of money, and go for it. You don't have to wait till the court decides. Go for it now. That's the way the system works in general. A phone company doesn't wait to get a court decision. They go right after you and affect your credit rating and bug you on the phone and whatever to pursue. And larger bills, they'll lien your house. So that's available to us. Same thing. So even if you're, if you're contesting the bill, like the phone bill or whatever, they can still do all that collection. I've seen them do that to people. And I didn't have that, I never had an account like that, blah, blah, blah. And I've had various charges, especially from Rogers, that they just pull out of the blue, and I've been able to get them to rectify. But a lot of people aren't able to get them to rectify, so they continue to harass them over this. And then they have trouble getting credit and stuff because they're ruining their credit over it and everything. So these claims, these liability claims, are legitimate. They're backed up by law, and we can get on it right away. So if any questions, and please do not contact me asking me to save you. You have to take your stance yourself. I will give you the information and the tools. It's up to you whether you're going to use them or not. But if I can't guarantee you're going to win if you take a stance, but I'm guaranteeing you're going to lose if you don't take a stance. So my my email is mjslegalservices@yahoo.com.